let's talk about some awesome knitting patterns that were released this past September. Hello everyone, Rochelle here, and I'm back to share some yarn goodness with y'all today. Okay, so today we're going to talk about patterns that were released this past September. We are going to talk about clothing, accessories, and patterns for the home. So that's so exciting. And as always, I'll leave everything linked below where you can find the patterns. And also, these patterns are available either as a free download or free on the designer's blog. Let's talk about garments. The first one we have is the Marinière Pullover, designed by Stein Hollingard Josen for Jarba. That was quite the mouthful. But it is a worsted weight pattern. And the bust circumference ranges between 39.5 to 59 inches. And that's 100 to 150 centimeters. So the needle size, you'll need two. You'll need a US 2.5, which is a 3 millimeter. And you will need a US 6, which is a 4 millimeter knitting needle. Also, you will need to know a few skills, and they include the backwards loop cast on, knit, purl, make one left, make one right, knitting through the back loop only, knitting two together, and slip, slip, knit. So there are some decreases in there. And this crew neck sweater is knit in the round, top down. And it features a set-in sleeve, stripes, and it has twisted ribbing. So if all of that sounds fun to you, definitely give this a try. But wait till I talk about the next pattern. You are going to love this. We have the matching Marinière Skirt, also designed by the same crochet knitting designer, and it calls for worsted weight yarn. Waist circumference is between 33.5 to 50 inches, and that's 85 to 172 centimeters. And that is without the elastic. So with the elastic, it's going to have a little bit more stretch to it. So for the needle size, you will need a 2.5, which is a 3 millimeter knitting needle. I keep wanting to say crochet hook, knitting needle. And you will need to know how to knit, purl, make one right, and make one left. So this skirt is worked top down in the round, and it features matching stripes along with the sweater. And so the great thing about this, you could wear the sweater and the skirt together, or you could mix it up and create more outfits. And I just think that is so awesome. Okay, let's jump on to our next one. This is the Town Square Sweater, designed by Postcard Knits. And this one calls for worsted weight yarn. So the bust circumference ranges between 30 to 59 inches, and that's 75 to 150 centimeters. So you will need two knitting needle sizes. You will need a US 7, which is a 4.5 millimeter, and a US 4, which is a 3.5 millimeter. So you will need to know quite a few skills to make this knitting pattern. Let's talk about it. You'll need to know how to knit, purl, make one left, make one right, slip, slip, knit, knit two together, purl two together, knitting two together through the back loop, passing the slip stitch over, which is abbreviated as PSSO. So, you will need to know a few skills, but of course, if you have any trouble, you can always look to YouTube. There's a ton of tutorials there. So this sweater has a drop shoulder construction, and it is knit top down. And so it features ribbing, eye cords, and a grid texture. So that's really, really cool. Up next, we have the cropped cardigan, designed by Teresa Chenoweth. Y'all know me in names. For Cascade Yarns. So this one calls for a worsted weight yarn, and the bust circumference ranges between 36.25 to 60.25 inches. And I did not write down what that was in centimeters, so I'm going to put it maybe somewhere over here. Now, we will need a US 8 5mm knitting needle. And to make this one, it requires quite a few techniques. Knit, purl, German short rows, make one left, make one right, slip two, knit, purl, pass the slip stitch over, knit two together, yarn over, working with the yarn in the back and working with the yarn in the front. So this one may it might be a bit of a challenge, but I believe in you. I know you can do it. So yay, this is a good one. And this cardigan is worked flat and it's seamed, and it features a 3/4 length sleeve and short rows. So short rows are always really good for helping with shaping. Okay, so the next one we have is the long cable cardigan designed by Andy Jarovi for Cascade Yarns. So this one is a worsted weight yarn pattern, and the bust circumference ranges between 34.5 to 66.5 inches. And my goodness, I did not write down a lot of the centimeters today. I don't know what I was thinking, so I'm going to have to put a lot of stuff on the screen today. But anyway, you will need a US 8, which is a 5mm, and a US 9, which is a 5.5mm. Also, you will need to know how to knit, purl, do some cabling, make one right, make one left. And so this cardigan is worked flat and it's seamed, and it features a V-neck and cable. So those are some really nice features to have together in a pattern. Next up, we have the Mill Valley Pullover designed by Sandy Rosner for Cascade Yarns. And this one calls for DK weight. So the bust circumference ranges between 32.5 to 69 inches. So that's a nice size range. And you will need two knitting needle sizes. You will need a US 4, which is a 3.5mm, and a US 5, which is a 3.75mm. So you will need to know how to knit two together, make one left, make one right, purl, slip, slip, knit, and wrap and turn short rows. So switching it up with short rows. This crew neck sweater is knit bottom up. Yes, and it is bottom up in the round. And so it features twisted stitches and long sleeves. So that's really nice with the cold weather coming for most of us. So yeah, that's a really good one to make. Next up, we have the Rosebud Tee, and it is designed by Debbie Mage for Cascade Yarns. So this one calls for fingering weight yarn, and the bust circumference ranges between 35.5 to 67.5 inches. And you will need a US 3, which is a 3.25, and a US 4, which is a 3.5mm. And as always, your tension and your gauge is going to be different. It may vary from the designer, so you might have to go up some needle sizes, or you might have to go down some needle sizes. So that's up to you. You will need to know how to do German short rows, knit through the back loop, knit two together, purl, purling through the back loop, knitting two together, purling two together, purl, purling through the back loop, passing two slip stitches over each other, slip, slip, knit, working with the yarn in the front, and yarn over. So yes, this pattern may seem like a challenge, but you can do it. I know you can do it, and there's always a YouTube tutorial for it. Okay, so this tee features a drop shoulder sleeve construction and a scoop neck. Okay, next up we have the Daydream Sweater, and it is designed by Angeline Webb for Knitty Magazine. So this one calls for a sport weight yarn, and the bust circumference ranges between 31.25 to 64 inches. And in centimeters, that's 79 to 162.5. So you'll need two knitting needles for this one. You will need a US 7, which is a 4.5mm, and a US 6, which is a 4mm. So to make this, you will need to know how to do the long tail cast on, the backwards loop cast on, knit, purl, make one right, and slip, slip, knit. So this sweater is knit top down in the round, and it features a modified drop sleeve. So that's very interesting. And also it has a crew neck design. Up next, we have the Zico Cardigan, designed by Veronica Ori for Knitting Magazine. So this one calls for DK weight yarn, and the bust circumference ranges between 38 to 70 inches. And in centimeters, that is 96.5 to 174. So you'll need to have 2 knitting needle sizes. You'll need a US 7, which is a 4.5 millimeter. And you will need a US 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter. So the skills you'll need to make this one involves knit, center, double decrease, knit 2 together, slip, slip, knit, yarn over, and some cabling. And so this cardigan, it features a drop sleeve and a v-neck, and it is knit bottom up, and it features a lovely lace design. So that's really nice. Next up, we have the Adult Sarah Tee, designed by Amanda Morse of Knit in the Womb Designs. So this pattern calls for DK weight yarn, and the bust circumference ranges between 30 to 58 inches, which is 75 to 145 centimeters. So you will need to have a US 6, which is a 4 millimeter, and a US 4, which is a 3.5 millimeter. So the skills for this one are fairly simple. You just need to know how to knit, purl, slip 2 together. Yeah, slip 2 together, and slip, slip, knit. Yes. So I wanted to make sure I said that right. But this tee is knit bottom up, and it features a drop sleeve and some lace. So love that. All right, so let's take a bit of a pause and talk about what I am wearing. So this is the Rosemary Tee, designed by Ashley Lillis. And so this is a free pattern, and it's free on her website. And I have uploaded a video talking about this sweater. And so I will leave my Ravelry link below, which has my video link in it as well. So definitely check that out. Let's talk about accessories. Okay, so today I have one accessory actually. And it is the Fleur de Sel Hood, designed by Tori Gerbiza for Premier Yarns. Okay, so this one calls for bulky weight yarn, and it comes in 3 sizes. You have small, medium, and large. You will need a US 8, which is a 5 millimeter, and a US 9, which is a 5.5 millimeter. So for this one, you'll need to know how to knit, purl, slip 2 together, slip, slip, knit, slip 2, purl, picking up stitches, and the 3 needle bind off. And so this hood is knit bottom up, both in the round and flat. So you'll have to do a few different constructions there. And I really, really want to make this hood in a size large. I think it would be fantastic. So this is one that I am very excited about. Okay, so let's talk about patterns for the home. All right, we have one today, and it is the cable pullover cover designed by Susan Frick of A Box of Twine. Okay, this one calls for super bulky yarn, and the final measurements are 12 inches by 12 inches, and so it's a square. And it calls for US 13 9 millimeter knitting needle. And you will need to know how to knit, purl, work cables, work an overcast seam to join the edges. So I've never even heard of an overcast seam. Let me know if you have. Let me know. So this pillow cover is knit in rows to form 2 panels. And that's front and back. And so then you seam the panels together on 3 sides. After you do that, you're going to insert a 12-inch pillow form. And so then you're going to seam up that last edge. And if you want, you can add additional tassels. So that's up to you, but I think this would look fantastic. And I found a lot of garment patterns in September. So that's why this was pretty heavy towards the garments. And I just had one accessory and one for the home, but I wanted to make sure that I included those. So what are some new patterns that you found in September? Definitely share with the class. Let us know if you found any, if you're working on any. If you found some that I didn't mention today, definitely let me know. And also, I wanted to tell you all that of course, I knit and I crochet. So I have made a crochet roundup for September as well. And let's take a look. If you are looking for a pattern that is going to be a challenge for you, y'all, this jacket is it. This pattern is great because it's kind of like getting a 3-in-1 deal. And I think that is awesome. And it's free. That's crazy. You're getting 3 patterns and it's free. Like, that is wild. It's one of those patterns you just look at and it makes you smile. It's obviously at the end of September and it is 88 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but it's hot. All right, y'all. Let me know what you worked on while watching, or did you just chill? I love reading you all's comments, so definitely leave me a comment and feel free to click that like button and that notification bell, and also subscribe. I would love to have you. And if you would like to become a member of the channel, click that join button below. So thank you all so much. I've been definitely reaching some, or on my way to reach some milestones with Instagram. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers or followers. And so thank you all so much for helping out with that and sharing with your friends and all that good stuff. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, bye.